You can summarize the whole spiritual path and the whole human dilemma with a very simple fact. We believe we are our thoughts. You cannot stop having these thoughts. And whenever these thoughts appear, you feel this way or the other. You have good thoughts, you feel good. You have bad thoughts, you feel bad. For most people, it's even more enslaving because you cannot stop having thoughts depending on what happened. So if you have more money in your bank account, you think, oh, wow, now I have a lot of money. And then you feel better. But then you realize that actually you didn't have much money in that bank account. So you have thoughts that say, okay, actually it looked like a lot, but actually you don't have enough to pay everything. And then suddenly you feel like that. You see, there's a chain in causation, why you feel lonely, why you feel sad, why you feel angry, why you feel anything that is negative. It's involved in this chain of causation. So realizing that you're not your thoughts is the key to your happiness. Can you just for a second embrace this? And I'm going to go deeper explaining how this works. So you are not whatever thought crosses your mind. You are not that thought. You're not that little voice you hear in your head. You don't need to take it so seriously. You can back off and enjoy your life. Okay, and some of you think, yeah, I heard that before. But here's the problem. When I sit to meditate or in general in life, I can stop having all these thoughts. I have these negative thoughts about my situation at work, about this relationship, about myself. I have all these thoughts in my head. So my problem is that I have thoughts and a lot of them, and there are too many. I can't even concentrate. I can't even pursue what I set myself to do in life. So I fail in everything. My life is a failure. You see where I'm going? It feels like, yeah, the problem is that I have too many thoughts to be able to control them. So I cannot do. But here's the point. The little bit that you're not getting, if that's the situation where you find yourself in, is that it's not the thoughts themselves that are creating the situation. It's your engagement with them. And how do you see this? Because it's not about that you have too many thoughts. It's about the gap between you and having the thought. Is that little link. You basically notice later, afterwards, that something happened. Imagine someone is drunk or someone is like sleepy and is not paying attention, and suddenly you hear a bell, but you just catch the end of it. And you think, oh, I did this because you just see it in your hand maybe. But actually, no. That bell just was hidden by something else or not for you. It's just not by you. It just looks like it's happening to you. In the same way we are experiencing the world as if you are making it. You're making it, especially thoughts. We tend to assume, yeah, I am my thoughts because I am thinking this thought as if you chose them. But did you actually choose your thoughts? So let's get into that. Close your eyes. Let's do a little experiment. Take maybe one deep breath. And I just want you to wait for the next thought. Just notice, where is this thought coming from? Notice if, can you choose the thought? Or it just sort of appears in your mind. Just wait. Sit and wait. It's like waiting in front of a hole of a mouse and just seeing when it comes out. Just sitting there. The mouse will come out of the hole. In the same way, just wait and sit until your mind delivers a thought. It could happen right after 1 second, or it may take a few seconds because your mind can be shy in the beginning. But if you sit in there and just wait, just want to pay attention to the link, to the way the thought appears. Okay, open your eyes. You can do this longer. You can even pause the video here and try a little longer if you want. The point is that you will notice, if you do this long enough, that actually we have the illusion that we are thinking, as if you were a thinker, as if you were choosing your thoughts and you were the active agent of your thinking. Yeah, I know. That's the impression that you have. But actually, the actual experience of it, it's pretty much a bit more like something is just happening. The thought just appeared out of the blue. You didn't really choose it. It's as if you were observing, you're making popcorn and you're observing the grains of maize there, and you're trying to control which one pops first or something like that, or when it does pop. It just do have zero control of it. And it may take this a while. This is a very profound meditation that you can imagine by this logic that it can lead to a profound transformation in your life. Just to know this, not to believe, but to clearly see that you're actually not choosing your thoughts. You're not choosing when to think. You're not choosing anything about it. So the question is that, is it really you that you think? Are you really your thoughts when that happens? What will happen if you keep doing this longer? At some point, naturally, without trying to do anything, just by the fact that you're actually observing what's happening inside of you, moment by moment with precision, what's going to start to happen if you do this longer and longer is that you find yourself to be not the thinking, not the thought, but the space in which it appears, as if you are the awareness of that thoughts. Analogies for this is, for example, the sky. The clouds appear in the sky, but you are not the clouds. The clouds will be the thoughts, and you are the sky. That's kind of the sensation that you have. It feels that it's just happening there. I'm going to make it with the screen. You're just there sitting, and then it's just this thing, a thought appearing. And if you don't think it, if you don't narrow into daydreaming of that thought, the thought kind of releases itself, and it just goes away like a bubble. Poof, just goes away. The problem is that you didn't know this, and when the thought appears, you're suddenly obsessed with it, and the more you pay attention to it, the more it grows into a whole state, a whole lot of chains of thoughts that then it's not just one thought, it's that there's like a whole dialogue in your head, and sometimes you hear even the same lines over and over in your head, especially negative thinking. You don't want to think that, and yet you think it. All this is based because you pay attention to certain patterns in your mind, and you cannot unglue your attention from it. It feels like, oh, I cannot avoid it. That's where systems like this is just one, The Attention Revolution. This is a book, great book. As you know, I always recommend this. There are stages that you can follow to carefully do what we just did in this video, to carefully abide deeper and deeper. And so this is not just an interesting idea. This is not just an interesting 1 minute exercise, but it actually purrs into your life. So you're not so attached to your thinking. You're not so reactive to everything. And you can enjoy the space of being no matter what happens in your life. Can you imagine just for a second the freedom of not being trapped by thinking, by the stories in your mind? Suddenly everything, all the problems disappear. You become a child again. But in this case, you're a functional adult child, meaning you're like a child, but you can go to work and you can do everything. And some practical thoughts may come, and you are aware of them, and you just let it happen. Let that work be done. You don't think, you don't fight, you don't react to it. You just do what you have to do. So you're still a responsible adult, and yet at the same time, you feel a huge space of moment by moment enjoyment. And you feel that no matter what happens, and that whatever thought seemed to happen out of a reaction from that, you don't really buy it. And that, my friend, is full freedom when practiced deeply enough, long enough. At some point, your identification with your mind cracks. And that's the beginning of real freedom. So in a nutshell, just observe your own strategies to be better, to feel better, to be happier, and the ones that everybody has. It's always involving this doing and making it happen. And otherwise, some people, maybe you try to think better, you have to be smarter and know more stuff. And we're trained. But do you see the problem with this? It's not that please do it if you're enjoying it. But if you're not enjoying it, if your life is not a constant moment by moment enjoyment and peace, then I'm suggesting you to reconsider that the strategy of happiness, that you try to make things be in a certain way, you try to become someone that you are not, all this kind of struggle is actually based on the simple idea that you are your thoughts. So hopefully you experience little by little that it's worth sitting to meditate every day, just to stop this huge momentum. Because you can read a book, you can see a video like this, and now I get it. I'm not gonna identify myself with my thoughts. But are you really gonna be able to do that? Most of the time, you may be able to do it a little bit, and then you just find yourself waking up. Oh my God, I don't feel good again. Why? What happened? And you just go back and say, oh yeah, this thing happened. Then I start thinking like that, start feeling like that. But here's the thing: you can develop the skill of being present effortlessly, moment by moment. My suggestion to you is that here is the funny paradox. You actually have to make time for that in your life. So it's very difficult to observe your thoughts. Please do it if you can while in the middle of the activity of a daily life. But I'm suggesting you make it easy for you to observe your own internal process. Sit and actually just observe. You could do what we just suggested today, but there are a lot of more consolidated chains of stages and ways to do that, like the book that I presented you, where you can actually understand where you are and you can adjust depending on the day, how distracted, how tired, how restless you feel yourself. And you can fine tune. There's always a solution for everything. So my tip to you is sit to meditate. By meditation, you don't need to do anything special. You can just watch your mind without getting involved. And just stay there until your natural peace start appearing and everything feels right. And you feel right. And there's no much to chase. There's just enjoyment of everything. If you're serious about truly understanding meditation, not just the surface level mindfulness hype, but the deep, time-tested methods of the sages, I have a free course with real practical guidance waiting for you. And if you struggle to stay consistent with your meditation practice, join our free community for accountability, live online meditation sessions, and discussion circles that will keep you supported every step of the way. You'll find the link to join in the description or the comments below, so you will never have to do this alone. See you there.